Okay, welcome back guys. In this video tutorial, I'm going to design the generate question method that will generate a question every time we click on a text view of our XML layout. So let me get back into Java file. So as you can see that I'm into main activity.java file. So first of all, I would be needing two random variables in which I'm going to store two integer type values. So let me declare those variables as a object variables int random number 1 and random number 2. So here I'm going to create a private void generate question method, generate question, and let me surround this with try catch block so that we can judge that the exception would be in generate question method. First of all, I would be needing a random class object for which I'm going to get the random class object, which would be I'm going to initialize it into on create method. Here I'm going to copy and pasting the code from the generate question. Let me initialize the object random, that would be new random. Now I'm going to initialize these two integer variables with some random values. Okay, so I'm going to say random 1 would be equal to obj random 1 get next int, and let me set the upper limit to 30 and lower limit to 0. And similarly, I'm going to set the value for variable 2. Same limit will be used for the obj number 2. Now I'm going to declare another variable that would be actual answer, in which I'm going to store the sum of these two variables. So let me create it. Actual answer would be equal to random number 1 plus random number 2. So now I'm going to set these two random values inside this text view. Before to do that, I'm going to get this text view, which is question text view, inside our main activity.java class. So first of all, I need to declare this variable of text view. This would be question text view, and I'm going to initialize it by connecting it with the XML file or .id. This would be question.tv. In the very first step, let me set the question.setText, because these two values are of integer type, so I have to convert them into string before putting them into setText method. So for that purpose, I'm going to use the integer.toString method, and here I'm going to convert the random number 1 first, and then I'm going to put the plus sign between these two variables, integer.toString, and here I'm going to use the random number 2. So we are done with our first step. In the next step, I have to create 4 different options for these 4 beautiful text views. For that purpose, I'm going to use a for loop inside my generate question method. Int count would be equal to, it would start with 0 and it would end at 3. So I'm going to make it less than 4. At the same time, let me make an increment into count method. Okay, but before that, I need a random location so that I can store at random position my actual answer at some random position every time I create a random answer of two random variables. For that purpose, I'm going to create another variable that will be holding the correct position for our actual answer. So I'm going to name it correct answer position, and I'm going to use it over here in the generate question method, where we'll be using like this. Correct answer position would be equal to obj random dot next int, and the upper limit will be 3 and the lower limit will be 0. So here I'm going to store all these value insert an array list of integer type. To use the array list, I have to create the variable of array list type, and this array list would be of type integer. Obj answers array list. Let me change this to answer. So in the very first step, I'm going to initialize this array list equal to new array list, and here I'm going to initialize. First, I would check if the count is equal to our correct answer position. So first of all, if count equals our correct answer position, so we would add our actual answer into our answers array list. Dot add method would be used. Here I'm going to add the actual answer inside this array, and in the else part of this array, I'm going to create an integer type variable that would be an incorrect answer, and it would be generated by random, and this incorrect answer would have an incorrect random value as well. For that purpose, I'm going to set the limit to 40 and the lower limit to 0. But what if we have the actual answer equals to incorrect answer. In that case, I'm going to use a while loop. While incorrect answer equals actual answer, it regenerates this incorrect answer till that time unless this incorrect answer isn't equal to our actual answer. So I have regenerated the incorrect answer is equal to actual answer, and after that I'm going to add this incorrect answer into our array list. Add, and here I'm going to add incorrect answer. So we are almost done with our logic. In the last step, I'm going to add these four random values that we have stored in our object answers array list into our text views. For that purpose, I'm going to get these four text views into our Java files. Before that, I'm going to create text view file, text view variables over here. First would be answer1 text view, second would be answer2 text view, and third would be answer3 text view, and last but not least would be answer4 text view. Now I'm going to get these XML text views into our Java text views. For that purpose, let me set the values. Answer1 text view would be equal to find view by id or dot id answer text view 1. Let me copy and paste these values just 4 times, and here I'm going to change the values. Okay, no, I'm going to change these values as well. We are having some trouble with this, as this is ans3. Let me change it to ans3 text view. Okay, that's it. At the end of this, I'm going to set values for these different text views. Answer text view 1 would be equal to answer1 text view dot set text equals to, as array list is of integer type, we have to convert it to toString before setting that to the set text method of ans1 text db. For that purpose, I'm going to use integer dot toString array list dot get, and index would be 0. So I'm going to make 3 copies of this line, and let me change the index to this. Now I'm going to set this to 3 and 4. That's it for this tutorial, guys. See you guys in the next video.